I just got done with trading, and today guys I made a big mistake. I usually don't make this mistake as an experienced trader. I never had this issue of chasing a stock, but today I chased the stock and I paid a big price for it. So today I was watching Tesla for a break of the yesterday's range. So we had this crazy push down on Monday. On Tuesday we consolidated like a doji. On Wednesday another doji. So today I felt like we might see actually good price action. So I was watching a break of the yesterday's high for a push towards the upside, 250, 251 zone for upside, or a break under the yesterday's low, 241 for downside. So I mentioned in the group as well, in the Discord group, that if we get near the yesterday's low, near 243, I'm going to start watching it for downside. And if we get near 250 and 251, I'm going to look for an upside breakout for a push towards 260, possibly 265.
So on this day, I did not speak a lot while trading. I was actually did not speak anything. I was just focused on trading. So I was watching Tesla, you guys can see right here, and I was watching it for a breakdown under the prior day's low, which was around 241, and then it started dropping. So I was tracking it right here, and then eventually it's going to go for low of the day. But here is when I made the mistake, the big mistake. Usually as a trader, you will have your pros and cons, you will have your advantages and your disadvantages, but chasing a stock has never been a disadvantage for me personally. I rarely chase a stock, maybe once in a year, twice in a year. I don't even remember the last time I chased a stock, maybe in 2023. So chasing has never been my issue, but today I chased it, and I chased it with big size, which was again because of FOMO. I missed out on that 245 entry. We had a pullback near 245. I missed out on that entry, and right at the breakdown I entered 200 contracts, 240 puts, and my fill price was 4.44. As soon as I entered, I was down on this trade because I entered right at the bottom of this 1 minute candle, 9:37 a.m. candle. You guys can see that I'm holding 200 contracts, and I was down. Straight up, I was down. And being an options trader, you guys also need to understand that if we have a flush like this off the open, you should not enter and wait for a pullback because the premiums get really jacked up. So even when it made a new low of the day, you guys will see right here that even though I exited after my entry, lower than my entry, I'm still gonna lose a lot of money on this position. So right here, it made a new low of the day. It's going to make a new low of the day in the next few seconds. And my premiums did not even come to break even. And that's the thing. Like if you trade options, like if you trade shares and if you chase a stock, you might still end up break even if you exit at the exact value. But especially with options, if you get an aggressive push up or aggressive push down, the premiums get jacked up a lot. And then if you chase it, your risk is a lot. And that's when I covered my position right here. I lost $7,400 on this trade, which is honestly not that bad. It could have been a lot worse with 200 contracts. I could have easily lost approximately $20,000 on this position because, as I mentioned, with options trading, you have to be extra careful of never not chasing a stock, never chasing a stock, because your risk is a lot more compared to if you are trading shares or futures. Honestly, as soon as I exited the position, I knew in my head that the game plan is still valid. So I was still looking for entries, and as soon as I exited, I saw a push up, that green candle. I took a small position now. So this time I took 50 contracts, which is only 25% of my initial size, 200 contracts. And then after a few minutes, we had this push towards 242, and that was my stop loss actually. So we pushed above 242, but there was no clean buying near 242, and that is where the tape reading comes into play. Honestly, I should have added right here, right above 242, because the tape was not really strong. Like we can see that after, like it broke above 242, but the tape slowed down. So I explained the similar strategy in my previous YouTube video as well, live trading, that we broke above a level, but there was no clean buying above that level. So that's what happened. Exactly the same thing happened above 242 because of tape reading. I got a really good entry now. So right at the top of that candle, I added to my position. I added 100 more contracts, and my fill price was approximately 3.79 on those 100 contracts. So now I'm holding 50 contracts, and this is now a good trade. So the first trade, even though the game plan was good, that's why trading is a combination of entry, exits, and executions. Having a game plan, then good entries and good exits, because anyone can have the best game plan in the world, right? You will see a lot of people posting on social media that, okay, my game plan worked out. Did you actually execute on that game plan, right? Because my game plan was nice, but I just failed to execute properly on the first trade, and that comes with experience, that even though I exited that first trade, I was like, game plan is still valid. The risk to reward is still there. So I just have to take a back seat and reevaluate and enter small position sizing. You guys can see my screen right here. So as of now, I'm just holding 50% of my position. So I covered when it made a new low of the day around 239 and 238. I covered 50% of my position. And because my entry was so good, my entry was near 3.8 on the premiums. And in the next 2 minutes, the premiums went to 4.6, 4.7, 4.8, 4.9. One of my partial was actually near $5. So I was a bit slow in taking my profits. You guys can see on my loser, the first trade. Eventually, that trade would have paid nicely as well. But you guys can still see my first entry was at 4.44, and even though this stock has moved down a lot, the premiums are approximately at 4.8 or $5. So had I held my first position, I would have barely made like 15%. So that is why my first position entry was really bad. In that case, if something like this happens, as I mentioned, usually I don't chase a stock, but if I do, it's always best to cover your position, reevaluate, and take the next trade and try to manage that trade nicely with a really good entry and good exits. And whenever I was seeing a new low of the day, the tape was kind of trying to find a bottom. So I took small position out. I kept taking my partials, and right around this 238, 239 zone, I could see that buyers are stepping up. I covered my whole position. And honestly, I turned off my screen recording before I could actually share the screenshot of my executions. But here you go. This is what I posted in the Discord group. And yes, I took a 7.4K loss of the open, which was still a good game plan. Bad entry, good exit. So a trade is a combination of game plan, entry, exit. On my first trade, I messed up on the entry aspect. My exit was still good, honestly. I only lost like less than 10%, which is pretty good. But on the second trade, the game plan was nice, entry was nice, and exit, I held on to my winner. I cut my first loser, overall ending the day with approximately $3,000 in the green. So I made this video because the response on the last video was amazing. You guys like these kind of raw videos. But last video, I actually traded really well. My entries and exits were really good, but no one is perfect. I am not perfect. But as a trader, you need to know your strengths and you need to know your weaknesses. Honestly, chasing has never been my weakness. Yes, sometimes a revenge trade, I overtrade, I'm not perfect, but I don't chase a stock. But today I did, and that's why I wanted to make this video. As I mentioned, the response on the last video was amazing. So you guys have to do the same thing for this video as well. If you guys like these kind of raw trading recap videos, let me know in the comment section below. Like this video, and if you guys are new, subscribe to my channel because we are stepping it up in 2025. And especially if you're a beginner trader or if you're thinking of getting into trading, this is a channel you need. We are going to be uploading a lot more trading educational videos as well, including trade recaps, level 2 breakdown. So now if you guys actually click on my channel and go on the playlist section, we have a separate playlist for the beginner traders. We have a playlist for the trade recaps where this video will be uploaded. We also have a playlist for day in the life. So on this channel, you guys can get everything: my trade recaps, my day in the life, my life as a trader, my life outside of trading, and everything. So you guys need to subscribe to this channel.